Turning a Miss into a Hit by Susan Gerbic, January 22nd, 2025, from the Guerrilla Skepticism online column at skepticalinquirer.org, read by Susan Gerbic. No, psychic medium Tyler Henry did not tell TV personality Ricki Lake that her house would burn down, and 3 months later it did. But it's all over the entertainment news. Ricki Lake is pushing the narrative, writing January 11th on her Instagram, "The great Tyler Henry medium called it. Less than 3 months ago, on October 15th, 2024, Ross and I were on Tyler's show, and guys, he saw the fire. The show is on Netflix. I urge you to watch it. OMG. Always a spoil sport. Let us take a look at the full transcript of the October 15th prediction. Perhaps there is more wisdom to be unfurled in his golden words. The clip that's being shared across the internet is 1 minute long. Tyler Henry. This is good to keep in mind. There might end up being a coincidence where not only do we lose something, and I'm trying to articulate this without sounding concerning, I think this may have already happened. If there was a loss of material objects from both fire and water, though, that's the kind of weird distinction. It's two separate things. Ricki Lake. Okay. Tyler Henry. So we're going to end up finding that there's a story where there was a house fire or something along those lines. A fire risk. Ricki Lake. There was a house fire? Tyler Henry. But separate from that, and this might end up being a little bit more pertinent, we had a really bad storm and our basement flooded and it got a bunch of pictures ruined and we couldn't ever bring them back. There's just something about watching water seepage into a place where it shouldn't and damaging it. Ricki Lake. Okay. Tyler Henry. So keeping both of those things in mind. Ricki Lake. Okay, but the fire already happened. Tyler Henry. The fire already happened. Ricki Lake. You don't see another fire coming because I live in Malibu. Tyler Henry. No. Oh gosh, I get it. Every 10 years I feel like they get a big one. Ricki Lake. Yeah. Tyler Henry. But the kind of emphasis here is for some reason on water. Ricki Lake. On water? Henry. Fire and water. We gotta watch out. Ricki Lake. Okay. The whole conversation took less than 1 minute. Lake is clearly concerned at first and then relieved after Henry's very firm reassurance that the house fire he saw was in the past and that water had done a lot of damage to material things. He likened this to a basement flooding and ruining photos stored there. He even states that he does not want to be too concerning. As you can read from this transcript, Henry is not encouraging Lake to pack up her belongings or cut back dry vegetation near her home, or even to pack a goat bag to keep near the door. Lake shrugs it off as just an interesting moment in her reading, something to think about. The reality is very different from Lake's Instagram post. To be fair to the Tyler Henry camp, I'm writing this on January 20th, only a week later, and I haven't seen anything from Henry saying that he made an actual prediction. Only Lake and the entertainment media are saying that Henry had called it. Though there is some equivocating by the media, E! News writes, in the clip, Henry can be heard telling Lake and her loved ones about a potential house fire and loss of material items from both fire and water damage. He didn't say anything about a potential fire, but a past fire. Access Hollywood on YouTube titles their video with, "Footage shows Tyler Henry predicted Ricki Lake's home would burn down months before LA fires." Clearly, Tyler Henry did not predict the fire. Even using all caps in the entire title won't make it so. In the description of the video, Access Hollywood writes, in the clip, the host tells the couple that he envisioned the loss of material objects from both fire and water, cautioning that there will be a story of a house fire. Page 6 captions their story with, "Ricki Lake resurfaces video of medium Tyler Henry, seemingly predicting she'd lose her house in a fire. He called it." They, at least, added the word seemingly even though there is not even seemingly anything of an actual prediction in the clip. People is careful not to say that Henry did predict, but that Ricki Lake posted that she thought Henry had. People's headline, Ricki Lake says medium Tyler Henry predicted she would have a house fire 3 months before LA fires. He saw the fire. Their reporter, Raven Burner, writes, Ricki Lake is revisiting an eerie interaction with medium Tyler Henry, and then Henry cautioned her of the tragic event. I don't know if you would agree that a reading with Tyler Henry would be eerie or not, but he did not caution her of any event, tragic or otherwise. Being very factual, NBC and Fox News both shared the Instagram post Lake made and only commented on what she said. No use of words such as caution or prediction. Why did Ricki Lake make the Instagram post at all if it isn't what Henry said? She had shared 2 videos from that day, one with her and her husband and a friend watering down the property as the fires grew closer, and one with her filming at 8 p.m., driving her car down the hillside, saying she was praying for all the homes she was passing, for the firefighters and for her home. She said she had her pet sitting on her lap and her husband was following behind in another car. She said, I don't know what I grabbed. That does not sound like someone who was prepared to be evacuated. If she could see the fires and was receiving warnings from the firefighters and the great Tyler Henry medium called it only 3 months before, you would think that Ricki Lake would have been better prepared. Personally, I think Ricki Lake posted without thinking much about it. This was only a couple days after learning her house was burnt down. And no, there was no water damage. She's no different than all the other victims from readings. They're upset and looking for meaning in a world of confusion and seemingly randomness. She's what I refer to as a motivated sitter. She will find meaning in her reading. Possibly it is comforting to her. I really don't know. I'm not psychic and neither is Tyler Henry, as if we needed more evidence than from the dozens of articles I've written since this career started in 2016. In the evacuation video he posted on his social media, Henry states, largely on fire right now, so we got an evacuation warning. There's no power, and we really don't have cell service beyond right now where I'm uploading this. But I want everyone to know that we are okay. We're safe. We're keeping an eye on buildings and how things are going. I really feel for my neighbors, all the pets. It's just devastating beyond words. So it is what it is in this sense. I can only do so much currently. I'm just trying to take it one moment at a time and keep you posted. I'll let you know what there is to return to. So unpacking this, Tyler Henry did not know if his home would be safe from the fire. At the time of this article, it was. Nor does it sound like he knew he would need to be evacuated. He waited until he was told to go. The car he was in wasn't piled full of his belongings. It looked like he didn't bring much with him. If he's so worried about his neighbors, why didn't he warn them? Why not warn all of Los Angeles? A heads up for the various agencies might have been helpful also. I know fans of Henry will reap scorn on me saying that Henry isn't able to give himself readings and must seek out other psychics for advice. Okay, well, I don't think that's a thing, but let's just say for the moment it is. He didn't know if his home would survive. Still, he would have known about the fire in his neighborhood and the surrounding areas, right? And still no warning? The other excuse I often hear from believers is, it doesn't work like that. My answer is always the same. Well, then how does it work? Which usually is not answered. The goalposts get moved and the subject is changed or they leave the conversation. Seriously, what good is a psychic if they can't tell you true things, warn you when something bad might happen, and have some kind of accuracy rate? Would you want to fly in a plane with a pilot who only sometimes knew what they were doing, and only in retrospect when you can kind of see that they sort of managed to land the plane? Either Henry warned Ricki Lake about her house burning down and she chose to ignore it and not prepare for her loss, or Henry didn't issue a warning, but rather gave her a Barnum statement about the possibility of her eventually learning that someone, somewhere, maybe in her family, had a house fire that destroyed something on the scale of a basement flooding. And remember, it's 2 separate things, whatever that means. Ricki Lake has yet to piece this together. Maybe someday it will make sense, but more likely it will get forgotten. The only thing really true is that whatever that nonsense was that came out of Tyler Henry's mouth that October evening, it was of no help at all for Ricki Lake and all of Los Angeles. Let me end with a wise comment I received in the Psychics Explained video about this subject. It's from Janice Boyton, who writes, Tyler Henry assured her that the fire was in the past. Clearly, she's misremembering what he said and retrofitting the reading to fit the present situation. Maybe she finds comfort in magical thinking in a time of profound stress. I think Janice is spot on. The media tweaked the headlines to be more clickbait, and Ricki Lake isn't necessarily thinking clearly. She sure isn't remembering clearly. Thank you for listening to Skeptical Inquirer Audio Edition. This podcast is produced by the Center for Inquiry at our headquarters in Amherst, New York. If you'd like to support our work, please consider subscribing to Skeptical Inquirer magazine at skepticalinquirer.org. It is listeners like you that make our work possible. With your support, we can continue to support science, reason, and secular values throughout the world. Thank you.